They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
I'm glad everybody could tune in to watch this important announcement. If you're not from Kentucky or familiar with the Kentucky Derby, this is specifically for you. And I have a couple friends from Kentucky that are going to answer some questions to see how the Derby affects them and then also what they know about the Derby. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Kaylee.
All right, so Kayla, you're from Kentucky, so tell me a few things that you and your family participate in every year at the Derby.
So we normally dress up, go to the Derby. My mom and I pre-order elegant hats to wear. My dad and brother wear a suit and tie. If we don't go to the Derby, we always have a watch party.
All right, so tell me more about the hats and like the watch party.
The hats are usually very colorful with a bow and flowers on top. They usually pick it out to match the dress they're wearing that year. At the watch party, mint juleps are always served, which is a drink consisting of bourbon, sugar, and water. We also eat a lot of beer, cheese, and chips, as well as a nice hot brown.
Do you know how many mint juleps are served every year?
Probably like 50,000.
120,000. Now, a lot of things that you do, or a lot of the things that James C. Nicholas, which is a famous author, does. In his book, he talks a lot about how his mom wears big, beautiful hats at the Derby and how his family loves mint juleps, which is basically what you just said. So, how do you think doing this every year, and like you and people like James C. Nicholas, people from Kentucky, how do you think that helps bring people from Kentucky together?
See, I think of it as a bonding experience. To other people, it is just a place for stuck-up rich people to go watch horses run, but to people here, it is totally different. I've been doing this my whole life, and so have a lot of my friends, so to me, it's just something that we can relate to each other. These traditions are things we can pass down to our kids, and then they will do the same things as us, so that tradition never dies, and we can all stay connected with this one thing we have in common.
I agree 100%. Thank you, Kaylee.
You're welcome.
For this set of questions, I'm going to have my friend Cleo answer, so go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Cleo Isaacs and I'm from Bardstown, Kentucky.
Well, it's great to have you, Cleo. Mind if I ask you any questions?
Oh, go for it.
All right. What do you think the Derby has to offer for the state of Kentucky, or specifically Louisville?
What exactly do you mean?
Like, we hold the most exciting 2 minutes in sports every year, so what do you think that means for us as a state?
I mean, I guess it can help to get the Kentucky's name out there and show people what we're actually have something cool to offer in this state besides just basketball.
Well, actually, it has a huge economics impact on our state.
I mean, I guess I can see that, but elaborate on that.
Well, according to Rick Haro and Carla Switek, the Derby has a $217 million impact on Louisville. But its impact on the whole state of Kentucky, what do you think that is?
I'm gonna guess a couple $1 million.
It's $3 billion. And it also creates 55,000, or helps create 55,000 new jobs statewide.
Well, you see, I've lived in Kentucky my whole life, and I never knew that. Wow.
Yep, just like Rick Harlow said, the Kentucky Derby is an event whose horsepower fuels the state's economic engine. Not knowing what I just said, what's your opinion on it?
Well, I already thought it impacted us as a state by bringing us all together one day a year to showcase what we have to offer Kentucky. Now I know it helps us a lot economically. The jobs it creates as a state, as well as the income it brings from people coming to the Derby all around the world.
See, people from Kentucky like you, and then especially people not from Kentucky, they like don't seem to know that. So why do you think it's important for them to realize?
I think it's important because this Derby is literally keeping people in the state of Kentucky alive. It is a way for families to put food on the table and to make money. It sometimes makes me emotional to think about because something so microscopic has such a huge impact on everyone around me. It is a horse race, but for a lot of people, it's something that keeps them stable and on their feet. Something so many people from Kentucky and all around the world are so passionate about it.
The remark about around the world has me ready for my next interview.
Sorry.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, my name is Lauren.
So, do you see any different cultural impacts in the Derby? Because we were just talking about around the world.
I never really paid a lot of attention to that, but I guess a lot of the jockeys are Hispanic.
See, that's the problem with the whole thing. Everyone overlooks the Derby and just sees it as a horse race, but again, it's so much more than that. Like, no one really pays attention to the true meaning behind it. And you are also correct by saying that a lot of the jockeys are Hispanic, but there's a lot more cultural impacts than just that.
I want you to explain that more.
An example would be Alyssa Yamaguchi saying if horses could talk, they'd speak Spanish because the majority of jockeys are Hispanic. And then another example would be Professor Elizabeth Labonte from the University of Kentucky saying she has had the chance to meet people from as far as France and Monaco at the race.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So why do you think this is important?
I would say because it creates a mixing bowl of our culture in Kentucky with cultures from all over, and we can learn from their cultures and they can learn from ours.
Exactly. It's a great way for us to learn about other cultures while learning about ours. We can all learn from people of different backgrounds, which will help us make life easier. And that's it.